BYU takes 8 of the first 10 points in set 1 in firm command out of the gates. Buffs going to try to side out Shersty Strong, who serves now. Big swing. Anna Barilovic didn't get it down. Buffs block goes up, and Colorado has a couple. Kayla Payne in the middle. Anna Barilovic joined her. That's 2 of the 3 CU has tallied. Coming by way of block. Serve not handled great on the BYU side. Alex Bauer got a set up. She'll send another one. And the placement test is passed by Claire Little. Claire, a dynamic weapon for BYU. Sophomore from Winchester, California. Little, Coach Jesse Mahoney in his pre-match chalk talk upstairs talked about Claire Little hitting .305 when BYU goes out of system. She is a dynamic attacker, and the block goes up. From the back row went Barilovic, and from the front line, it came right back. Brielle Kemavor, 6'5", sophomore from Bristow, Virginia. Closed that off. Second time around, she went up centered, soloed, and took care of it. Kayla Payne scoring for Colorado. Buffalo's kill from the middle. Payne, she will sub out. In for the Buffs comes Ryan Finley to serve. Kendall Meller in up front for CU with Sydney Jordan and Bella Simkus. Avery Bowles in the back with Anna Barilovic and the server, Ryan Finley. That was up there. Brielle Kemavor. Rare air. Brutal angle. Good luck getting underneath that. And if you do, make sure your dental policy is in effect. Too many ways that was not going to end well for CU. Nice finish from Kemavor on a well-played ball by BYU. Sydney Jordan puts one through for Jordan's first kill of the match. I was doing a little ball shagging duty on that one. Ended up on the media table here, keeping the floor clean around here. Taylor Simpson serving for CU. She'll take the dig. Second touch will go to Morton. Jordan goes up, and the block comes back at her. Diving try by Morton. Buffs couldn't hold off the block. Second touch to the libero, and a wall there. That last block, Kemavor with Kate Pryor, number 1 for BYU, on the right side for the Cougars. She'll set up again, got some hands to it. The dig try is out. CU point on the swing, Colorado kill. And the Buffs, they're chasing 6. They have 6. Uphill battle in the first set. Sydney Jordan would like to serve for a while. Won't get that chance. Off the hands it goes. Kate Pryor, the junior, playing opposite there, listed as an opposite and middle. Good job on the right side by Kate Pryor on that transit through. The BYU rotations. Barilovic got it through the block. Anna sent it right into the waiting arms and got it to the floor. Anna Barilovic with the kill. Back to Sarah Morton for Colorado. Tip, and Simpson punched it over. And the call is out. I think Taylor thought that landed in. She immediately was asking for it, and then she's telling Jessie Mahoney, her head coach, absolutely challenge this. So the call was out on Simpson's touch, making it 14-7. Buffs would like to make it 13-8 with a successful challenge in set one. Eduardo Fiallos drops by with the additional stats pad for me. Thanks again to the talented tech coordinator, statistician, all-around coachy dude, Eduardo Fiallos. Supplementing stats again tonight as the Buffs have a challenge underway on this play. The tip over from Ellie Mortensen is punched over by Taylor Simpson. Line judge had a direct angle view of that. R1 on the stand close also, so two good looks, four eyeballs. Taylor Simpson also had a pair of eyeballs there, and she's pretty sure she saw it differently than the call went. So the call was out from that angle. It's one of those you can't quite tell if it hits tape. Good chance, by the way, to note the pink tape down on the floor. Breast Cancer Awareness Month in October, and Bart Emery, facilities guru here at CU Event Center and the University of Colorado, actually brought me a roll of tape to show me how large the rolls of tape are. They use 2 rolls of pink tape for this week's home matches here on the new Terraflex court at CU Event Center. And the pink accents, nicely done. This roll of tape, I would say, is, I don't know my measurements great. It's going to stay with the Cougars, by the way. The challenge not successful, point to BYU. So if you took like a good-sized grapefruit and then like lopped off the ends, that would be your circumference, would be something like that. It's a big roll of tape. 2 of those went down to make the pink accenting on the floor. Barilovic goes up big, and BYU is in command, and they're doing it a few ways. The block, when it's happened, has been dominant / intimidating. Noisy, to say the least. Thunderous back to the floor, and it's 15-7. In their first meeting 1 month ago, Buffs get a point with a touch. Off the hands it goes. Kill down for Colorado. Lily Dwinell had the swing. She'll head to the side, and the serve goes to Avery Bowles. BYU won the first set in Provo a month ago. CU came back to make it 1-1. Touch up front, and it's a BYU kill. The BYU won sets 1, 3, and 4 in the previous meeting. BYU poised to open up on the road with a set win. Colorado's got huge work to do after Claire Little sent that through the defense. 16-8, and now the ace. That was one way. Neither team had scored yet in the match. Check that one off the list for Macy Short. Macy drops that in, serving that zone frequently in set 1 with bite. That ball diving to the floor got below Sarah Morton that time. Now her pass is too strong. Joust, Taylor Simpson keeps it alive. Kayla Payne puts it over. Second touch to the center, Bauer. And the soft shot, Sydney Jordan couldn't get to the off speed. And CU will have to use their second timeout. Down by 10. BYU steamrolling in the first, 18-8 timeout. Managed to get that over, but the Buffs take away the point, close it up to 18-11. Not done yet, but really no margin here to let BYU get much more separation, and it's going to be Sydney Jordan on the overpass. A tape serve from Barilovic disrupted the receive. It sails over, and Sydney Jordan feasts on that. Timeout, BYU out in this first set. Buffs Allow me to correct me. It's a 4-point run for the Buffs, not a 3, as I said on the way out to the break. 4 points for the Buffs in a row, trying to get back into set 1. Lefty swing, nice reach, and a one-hand dig by Bowles. Jordan sent back. Simpson backpedals, tries to set it over and put it in the net. Taylor Simpson was retreating and backpedaling to try to get to that ball, and Taylor frustrated with herself. Teammates picking her up, but Taylor not happy with the result right there. Buffs had a nice run going. 4 in a row. Gonna have to shut down the BYU serve. Lefty serving is Alex Bauer, the setter. Big wind up. Jordan missed it. She knew it off the hand. Sydney sent that wide. Colorado's 4-point run is answered by 2, getting BYU to 20 points now. 8 digs for the Cougars in the first set, just 3 for Colorado. Kayla Payne kills for Colorado. Gets it up deep on Claire Little, and that disrupted the offense. Good serve by Ryan Finley. Got a BYU challenge of the Colorado point. Cougars have challenged. Buffs did this earlier in the set and did not succeed. Now BYU trying to flip a point over. Their head coach, Heather Olmstead, 10th season at the helm for BYU, has challenged that play, looking for a touch by Colorado. David Height, 11 seasons with BYU. He's the associate head coach. Daniel Jones, first season on the staff. Assistant coach Daniel Jones. Those 3 leading the charge into Boulder for just the 2nd time in program history for BYU. 2nd all-time appearance against the Buffs in Boulder. As I mentioned earlier, the only other time that BYU played in Boulder, that was back in 1994, so it's been 30 years. There was a touch, and BYU succeeds on the challenge. That's a big overturn. BYU's been in command, but the 20-14 flickers of hope for CU, trying to close the gap and make a dramatic run. That just put a dent in it. Instead of being down by 6, they're down by 8. Nice dig for the Buffs. Gets it over to Jordan, but that block once again for BYU. One of the stories of the first set. 5th block of set 1 for BYU. In the previous meeting a month ago, BYU had 15 blocks in 4 sets. Colorado just 6. Dominant net advantage for BYU, and they're putting that into place again. This will be a waterfall. Thought that might have come back, but the Buffs didn't get it over. Block try came down on CU's side, and it's 23-13. Ellie Mortensen once again. Trying to get on to set point. BYU will with the overpass. Kate Pryor has some fun with it. Chest bumps all the way around on the BYU sideline. Now they go into the try from Morton. It was Strong who got it. Buffs are going to get one there. Colorado had Maria Spławska on the floor. Middle blocker, 6'2" freshman from Poland was in quickly, and back out she'll go to smiles and knuckles and hugs from the sub line for CU. Deep shot here, got it. What a shot from Claire Little. That is what Jesse Mahoney talked about with Claire Little. She is a threat at any time She went deep and went angle and got the shot down. Morton served it, came off the tape, running set, way out of system, and that's exactly the concern from Coach Mahoney about Little in the out-of-system situations. Taylor Simpson's going to set middle for Kayla Payne. Diving dig, beautiful play by libero Lulu Ave. And now BYU watches that shot sail away, and they'll tie it up 3-3. Field goal for each team in set 2. Speaking of that, obviously a football Saturday tomorrow, but a busy night tonight here in Boulder with soccer and volleyball. Game times identical at 7 p.m. Mountain tonight. BYU setting Little. Pancaked up by Taylor Simpson. BYU still alive. Chance to close it with Little. She will. Claire Little is a sniper precision swings from Little, finding those seams. After listening to the scout by Jesse Mahoney in the Chalk Talk, I was excited to see Claire anyway. And she is delivering in the course of these first 2 sets. Libero Morton puts it over Uluave, the opposite libero in the blue jersey for BYU, got to it. Dwinell pushed it into the hands, and BYU read it and sent it back. Another block from BYU. Once again in the middle of that, Brielle Kemavor. In their first meeting, Kemavor had 9 blocks in 4 sets against the Buffs. Match high by far. There she goes with the swing, Brielle Kemavor. I bet you enjoy having her on your side. BYU has that fortune. There's a good swing for CU from Anna Barilovic. Buffs saw BYU reel off a string of points. They had, what was that, 4 consecutive on a run there, and Barilovic put that to an end. Kate Pryor had the swing. Buffs sent that back. Now a nice dig from Sarah Morton sends Simpson to the back court. Back row set from Simpson is deep and devoured by that front of BYU. Kate Pryor listed at 6'4", looking every bit of that with athleticism and reach. Claire Little served it, and that was a violation. Yep. And Brielle Kemavor nodded way onto the floor. Welcome addition to the rotations for CU and Jesse Mahoney. Taylor Simpson short steps into a serve. Yeah, throw by, missed it. Jesse Mahoney asking his crew if they want to challenge that, and they say yes. Won't have to burn a timeout here. I think there's a legitimate interest in another look at that from an in-out perspective, but if this is an unsuccessful challenge, not the worst challenge moment here for the Buffs. As they see BYU start to build this lead. Nothing else, try to stop some momentum and ice the server Billiter. Here's a look at Jordan's shot. Been a busy night on the DV Sport Challenge review system. BYU successful a couple times. CU unsuccessful in the first set with their challenge. I mentioned BYU sitting at 21 in the national rankings this week, tied at 21 with their in-state foe Utah. BYU and Utah both ranked 21 in this week's poll. Baylor behind them at 23. Pitt has 50 first place votes out of 61. Pitt ranked number 1 heavily, with Nebraska right behind them, and Penn State 3rd, Louisville 4th, and Stanford 5th. Kansas, the top-ranked Big 12 team, at number 9, the Jayhawks, 16-1 record. SMU ranked at number 12. Point's going to stay with BYU, so won't get a point change. They'll get hopefully for CU a momentum swing. Arizona State ranked 13 out of the Big 12. TCU at 18, BYU 21, Utah 21, Baylor 23. Those are the teams in the top 25. Buffaloes, they do get what they wanted. If they didn't get the point reversal on the challenge, they got the serve string to end for BYU. Block went wide. Swing here. Buffs, good job getting to that. Give themselves a chance. Brilovich tipped it. And a set over. Dump came, and it works. Alex Bauer attacks again. Colorado couldn't scramble it back up. Previous kill for the Buffs was Maria Spławska. And BYU answers with the setter attack. Alex Bauer has her second kill of the match. 15 assists for Bauer. Rising high, good swing from Kemavor. Buffs, nice job to handle that. Brilovich gets it down. Good sequence for Colorado. They were looking down the barrel of a loaded Brielle Kemavor, and she got it. Buffs answered it. Good front row play. Controlling, not only handling the shot, but controlling it in a way that they converted that into an attack of quality. Good shot answer from Claire Little. She fires back and gets BYU back point. 13-10 now, Cougars. Buffs in this set hitting 130. They were negative 100 plus in the first. They've at least turned that to a positive. 389 this set for BYU and 405 for the match. Hot hitting for the Cougars. Shot out. That'll drop CU's attack percentage with the error sailing away. Alex Bauer's serve. Brilovich swings and missed it. Well, the Buffs just off, missing wide here and there, long here and there, enough to lead to a deficit of 5 in the second set. Timeout. CU Buffaloes won a timeout. I think it was there during the timeout. CU Athletics giving away gravy boats for Thanksgiving. We'll CU logo gravy boats as part of a ticket promotion. I think I'm in. Back out of the timeout that was the media timeout, not a CU timeout, and Colorado will take a point. Buffs, as has been the case, would like it to be said, they needed that one. They've been in need of points heavily through the opener. Set one, won by a dozen points by BYU, and that serve error puts them back down by 5. BYU with 1 serving error tonight, and that was the first for Colorado. Each team just with 1. Low number for where we're at. Halfway through the second set. Kayla Payne tried to, kind of late decision. She turned around, tried to swing at it. Again, kind of disrupted system here. Out of system go the Buffs. Payne's shot is out, and Jesse Mahoney did not have to use one a moment ago, but he's not going to wait at all. He's going to take one right here. With BYU adding 2 of the 3 points since our media. Claire Little brings us back out of the Colorado timeout. Little serve deep on Jordan, out of system for the Buffs. Barilovic. Ball tipped over by Kemavor, who goes up on the block. Might have done that on purpose. I'm just going to put this over soft so I can get another block. She had 9 in their previous meeting, and Brielle Kemavor again dominant at the net with Kate Pryor up front with her. We've got Ellie Mortensen in the front row too. It's an impressive front line. Server is awesome. She nearly got one down at the 10-foot line off the tape, and there's a good finish for Barilovic. Buffs have subbed in Annie Rising, number 20 for Colorado. The freshman Rising from Pasadena, California is in. The server is Anna Barilovic. Anna has an ace. CU's back within 5. The hands of the Buffs. Ellie Mortensen, the freshman. Immediate impact player. Their mom Nina and Aunt Karina both played at BYU. Mom an All-American for the Cougars. And Ellie Mortensen starting off in fine form herself. Serving error for BYU. Each team has 2 for the match. Colorado having to work on their rotation here. Buffs across the Rocky Mountains from Salt Lake Airport. CU soccer across campus right now hosting Utah. There's a kill for BYU from Chersty Strong. Soccer scoreless. CU is winless in their last 5 in soccer. 2 losses on each end of those 5 with 3 ties sandwiched in the middle for the Buffs, and they fall into a 4-2-4 mark in the Big 12. Point for the Cougars as they answer well out of the timeout, up now 22-18. Buffs had a 3-point run. Colorado will take their timeout. Final timeout for the Buffs, holding on to hope in set 2 to not go down by a pair of sets with much work to be done. Number 21 BYU as the 4. Buffs need points now. BYU has Ellie Mortensen serving. On Sydney Bowles is not handled by the Cougars. Ace from Colorado, 3-1 Buffs. Emily Stepanek played well a couple nights ago in a loss to West Virginia, getting more time here. Nobody can get to that one. Bowles and Stepanek trying to run it down. Emily, a junior from Ridgefield, Washington. A patient, steady contributor to this Buffs program, getting some time here and chance to earn herself some more. Going to receive serve here, puts a good ball to Taylor Simpson. Start that off with Stepanek, end it with Kayla Payne. Emily will rotate out. Sydney Jordan is in. Good appearance that time around from Stepanek, who handled a serve that was down low, got to it, dropped the platform and delivered a dime to Taylor Simpson. Now Morton with a nice reaching dig on the wide side, and Jordan's swing is good. Colorado finding a little something here. They have not led at this point in a set. It's 5-2, and they have not this kind of a lead with a 3-point advantage. They've seldom had leads all night long. Can the Buffs build on it? BYU's been tough to stop all night. Hands on that swing from Little, and this block coming back. BYU finds a way. 8th block by BYU. Setter gets to it. Alex Bauer with Brielle Kemavor. Bowles struggled to receive that serve, and Kemavor is there to take Taylor Simpson's rundown on the second touch. BYU quickly answering. A little positive action from Colorado. Pre-game chalk talk, Jesse Mahoney said our libero has to have a great match just based on the game planning and the way BYU likes to play, the way they like to attack. Sarah Morton has been at the center of the challenge. Taylor Simpson would like to eke out another point and draw this third set even. Simpson sends it back to the same zone, serving on Little. And the swing good from Ellie Mortensen, hammering the block. Successfully tooling that to a point, putting BYU back up by 2. Colorado had the game plan to serve Claire Little heavily, number 12 for BYU, the sophomore. Offensive powerhouse for BYU. Buff's been putting it on her. Little handling that job well, and BYU building a nice night so far. A touch, yes. Kendall Meller off the fingertips. Buffs back within 1. Assistant coach, and then has gone off as the head coach at BYU. The Cougars at 12-6 this season, entering tonight, their record. Little leans back, swings it. Dug by Stepanek for the Buffs. Good front line from the Cougars, deflects and rejects Barilovic, who goes at it again, goes back into the teeth of that block and got it done. Hammers it off the block, flies all the way down the tape to the opposite side and out. For Heather Olmstead, in her 9 seasons completed, this her 10th, the most losses the Cougars have ever had in a season, 7 losses. That was last year. The year before that, 6 losses. That was their second most in 2022. They've got 6 losses this year. And that's not to build up some kind of a, things are fading here. It's not what's happening, but you look at the career of head coach Heather Olmstead. Back in 2015, her first year as the head coach at BYU, 4 losses. Then next year, 4. Next year, 3. Then 2. Then 5. Then 2 losses. Then 2 losses. Crazy numbers under the leadership of Heather Olmstead. Anna Barilovic, block. Down it goes from BYU. Jesse Mahoney talked about the fact that BYU, they're talented, but they're on the young side of things. Their setter, Alex Bauer, a freshman. Claire Little, who's been all over the place tonight, is a sophomore. Serve good from Macy Short. Brielle Kemavor is a sophomore. Lulu Uluave, the libero, she's a freshman. Ellie Mortensen, I started with her, she's a freshman. Big point for BYU, big response from the Cougars fans, and that flipped the feel in the gym at 19-18, but the momentum shifter has Jesse Mahoney using his final timeout. Each team out of timeouts. Only challenges can stop play now for either side. 19-18. Buffs look at it. Kemavor flips it over. That leads to this 1-point situation with the Buffs on top. And the Buffs are now evened up by BYU with the attack. Addie Benson, sophomore from Newbury Park, California. Benson gets the equalizer. That is the first attack, or make it the second attack for Benson. 2 kills. Kayla Payne swings, and BYU netted. In the net. Teeters Colorado back up by a point. 2019 Buffs. The only tight set we've had tonight. Can Colorado keep it alive here? That won't help. Sharp angle. And a beautifully finished for a 2020 score by Addie Benson. That's the definition of tooling the block. Lily Dwinell, an artist with that ball, sailed into it, sized it all up, getting extended time tonight. And looks like Kendall is now on the rotation out, and Emma Torstensen is on the serve in. Torstensen with one ace on the night. BYU plays this one. Sarah Morton communicates, gets the second touch behind Taylor Simpson. Buffs almost had it down. Almost not close enough. Great dig by Morton. Lay out to her right side, one-hand dig. Nice response by BYU by Ellie Mortensen. And there's a touch on the Colorado side. Spirited point goes the way of the Cougars. Good defensive play. Setter Alex Bauer doing towel duties. The Bauer's out of Nampa, Idaho. Eden Bauer, her sister, a junior outside hitter, both from Skyview High School. Junior and freshman sisters. Eden and Alex Bauer. Alex just handled towel. Claire Little handles serve. Simpson back sets Kayla Payne, and all over that. Saw it coming. Ellie Mortensen. Hammer. A young Buff squad. Obviously have the veteran setter, but a lot of youth on this roster for CU, especially in some key attack spots. Shot is long, and the Buffs are up by 2, 22. Trying to get a challenge from BYU. Yep, Cougars have challenged. That'll stop the flow here at 22-20. CU in the lead, trying to get to the fifth. Up by a pair of points for the moment. One of those challenges, if it succeeds for Heather Olmstead, instead of a 2-point deficit, it's a tie set at 21-21. You don't know. Well, I'd say less likely this will succeed. I think it's potentially a good timeout opportunity via the challenge card. Looking for a touch. Hey, calling all soccer fans. 0-0 down to the final seconds of action at Prentup Field across campus here in Boulder. Utah and Colorado, the Utes and Buffs down to the wire under a minute left. Colorado has had 9 corner kicks in this soccer, now 10 tonight against Utah's 2 corners across campus, but rotates out. Grab a drink and see if she can get back in before this one wraps. Probably not going to make it unless we go some extra points. Kayla Payne not able to reach. .23 all. On 28 attacks, she's hitting .321 from the outside as Mortensen. That's a significant number, and that just updated actually. They hadn't put that stat in yet. She's at .345 now as an outside hitter. That's fantastic 6 digs for Mortensen. She's got 12 kills on 29 swings, just 2 errors in those 29 tries. And half a dozen digs. Still Brielle Kemavor at 13 kills, team high. That's tied for match high with Anna Barilovic. The Buffs outside has 13 kills on 42 attacks. Think about that. She's got 42 swings, does Barilovic. For either team, the next closest count, 31 by Claire Little. So 11 more swings than any player on the floor tonight for Anna Barilovic. And among her Buffs teammates, still just 20 and 20 for Sydney Jordan and Lily Dwinell, more than double that for Barilovic. A heavy load for Anna. She's got 6 digs and a couple blocks. And just a 119 attack efficiency for Barilovic. Claire Little at 032. Those two players have been go-tos, and they will be down the stretch. It's not always just that efficiency number. It's that repetitive athleticism in the attack. 24-23 BYU for the match. Uluave. Block, almost did it. Chance for BYU to end it with a swing. Morton's dig to Simpson, who set it over. It was tight. Uluave puts it up to Mortensen. Morton's high dig is going to land up in the scoreboard and stay. And that is a BYU. Check it. Is that a replay when it lands in the netting? That ball, earlier this year, this happened previously this season, and I'm not going to, whatever the call is going to be based on the right, essentially ground rules of the arena, but I believe I saw a replay on this situation earlier this year. When it plays off the scoreboard and comes down on one side or the other, then that determines if it's on the offense side, that's play on. If it hits the scoreboard and lands defense side, that's point over. But when it sticks up in the top, extended conversation between our R1 and R2, tough spot for the officials. That's a replay. And that is consistent with what we saw earlier this season. For a moment, thought the call was going to BYU. They started to celebrate. That would have ended the match. We're going to replay the Uluave serve. Alex Bauer comes over and asks the question she's got to ask. The setter gets the answer, and we're going to play it again. 24-23 BYU. And the Cougars. Some drama in the finish. Jessie Mahoney. Taylor Simpson talking to her coach. Yeah, we're going to get a challenge out of CU about a ball handling error. The officials are trying to depart. Taylor Simpson went to her coach.